having tried this earlier and failed, and freaking out about my appearance and feeling maybe I can restart my life even with a portion of a face, and not being able to see it continuously because the only thing worse than traumatic emotions are traumatic emotions that you cannot process. The way you process your emotions is by confronting the reality of the situation, the reality of your emotional response to it, and then processing it. This is something that most stupid goyim don't understand. Lots of Jews used to understand, and then the stupid Jews got co-opted by the stupid goyim into thinking that the demonic spirit of shame that people mistake for Jesus is the God of our society, because it is the spirit saying, if you have a problem, I don't know what it is, but you should be ashamed for exposing me to it. I don't want to fucking deal with it. Get the fuck out of my face. All I'm saying is that I don't want to do this anymore. But the reason why I hate the Christians for showing up and giving me charity and a mindfuck is that they need to stick the charity and the mindfuck in their butt. People don't know the difference between Jesus and Satan because the spirit of Satan is the spirit of toxic shame. In order to understand toxic shame, you must understand that there are things you should be ashamed of. So you shouldn't be ashamed of being sick and bleeding and your eyebrows falling out. You didn't do anything wrong. You should be ashamed of being a demonic Christian who shows up and says, it's your own fault for not believing in God properly. If you did, he would forgive you and heal you and you wouldn't need a therapist. You wouldn't need to deal with your emotions because they would be gone. The grace of God is great enough to get me through this. The grace of God is great enough to get you through anything. But God helped me to remember that when I pray for the situation to work out logistically, it's not a sin. It's called being a person. It's called having feelings. It's called being mortal. It's called not being a full of shit Christian who worships the spirit of you ought to be ashamed of yourself for saying that God was unjust to you. You must not really believe in him. You know what God said? He said, you're right. This was unjust. I did this to you not because I hate you, but because I love them and there's no one to help them but you. You are the person destined to do this. You are the person destined to be smart enough and determined enough and creative enough and faithful enough. A word I never use towards myself, but while the devil sits here and tells me that I'm a faithless bitch who really isn't saved, what God tells me is, you're awesome and you beat a horrible illness, and now if you don't quit, you can go help a bunch of people by telling them that Morgellons is real, and then we can get on to the next problem, which is that your Jesus is the devil. You worship the spirit of toxic shame, which says you ought to be ashamed of yourself for saying that God was unjust to me. God was unjust to me. He did it for a good reason. Everything God does, he does for a good reason. That doesn't mean it's fun. That doesn't mean you don't have the right to be angry about it and full of self-pity because you think it wasn't fair, because it wasn't. Christians are moralistic dumb shits. I'm done presenting myself as a Christian because Christians' whole message is, we worship the blind faith spirit of authoritarian toxic shame. But what you ought to be ashamed of is finding a guy screaming at God and bleeding by the side of the road, and in addition to some charity, giving him a mindfuck that says, you must not have believed right, you don't need a shrink, go ask for forgiveness. You're denying Jesus as your Savior. I'm denying Jesus as my worldly Savior. I'm saying that Jesus explained this to me and the explanation is disturbing, but it's the real explanation. The reason why no one helped me with the Morgellons is because everyone is solving their own problem, which is I don't want to be poor. It's a medical profit system, not a medical care system. It's a health profit system. It achieved its goal. It made the doctors and the corporations rich and left me dying by a street corner screaming at God to kill me. So, that's the deal. And on a metaphysical level, everyone is worshiping the devil, the spirit of demonic shame, the spirit of you ought to be ashamed of yourself, while the spirit of real shame is saying, you ought to be ashamed of yourself for feeling bitter about yourself by giving a crazy homeless person a cookie and a mindfuck. Maybe stick them both in your butt. So what I'm saying is, the reason why God had to put me through this and leave me bleeding on a street corner saying, my God, why did you forsake me? Is because at that point, I am Jesus. I got to save myself, and after I save myself, I have to save you too by saying, hey, we live in a world run by ego and greed, and you don't know that Morgellons is real, you don't know how to cure it, and if you get it, you're just going to sit there begging God to kill you for 40 years. And that'll really suck. God got me through it, and when he says, my weakness is made perfect, and my strength is made perfect in weakness, Freud Schmoid, my grace is sufficient for thee, and I say, fuck you, your grace isn't enough for me. What he says is, I did ruin your life with a horrible illness. It's not over yet. Get up and stop feeling sorry for yourself and try again, but you're right. You're right. Don't let it make you insane. Okay, but what that means is that Jesus is not Lord. Yeah, that's right. You want to know why? Because when Sarah Suckaby Sanders says that Jesus is Lord and he's got climate change under control, what she means is that Jesus is already running the world. You know who disproved that theory? The guy who let go of the wheel of his truck and let Jesus take the wheel and he crashed it. I did that with my whole life. Because I was trying to lay a guilt trip on my malignantly narcissistic parents and the malignantly narcissistic dipshits that run our society and don't give you health care and tell you it's your own damn fucking fault. These Christians that showed up both had extremely narcissistic parents. They're working out their narcissistic parents with their narcissistic God and perpetuating a lie. They have Stockholm Syndrome for a crazy old white man called God. And I know. The God of the Old Testament is a demonic lie and an obscenity. He is a magical being who has mercy on you because you blew him, because you paid him homage, because you worshipped him and had sex with him by worshiping him, and if you cheat on him with another God, he's going to kill you. If you do that to your ex, you go to prison. If you're God, you get to just say, do as I say and not as I do. Okay, that's evil bullshit. I believe in a God of love, therefore I don't believe in that evil bullshit. If the real God of love, the Creator, hadn't showed me who Jesus was, I wouldn't know. Now I'm arguing with demonic Christians because in addition to a cookie, they want to give me a mindfuck, and I don't want or need either. God is love. Jesus is a messenger of his love. But this is wrong, and Christians make it worse, and I called a shrink, and she won't talk to me. I'll just wait for it to get better. I can't give up on wanting to do stand-up. I want my life to be of some use. I'm sitting here going, man, my eyebrow looks like shit. Okay. God can help me to stop feeling sorry for myself and move forward. It's true that once you get a revelation of the grace of God, it's better than anything in your whole life. So as I get closer to a real Raymond knowledge of God's love through his grace, I go, well, this is better than everything in my life. But I resisted getting to that point because what I said is, doesn't that make you complacent to solving it? Yes, it does. Try and solve it while realizing that the grace of God can get you through it. The grace of God is better than everything in your life. And ideally, my prayer is, please let it work out logistically and give me your grace to reveal your love to me so that I won't serve this world. I'll serve a God of love. Okay. But that's not mutually exclusive with, please, Lord, could it work out logistically? Could my eyebrows stop falling out? Could my face stop weeping blood? I still need it to make a living, even though I give up on ever having a girlfriend, a wife, a baby, a family, or a career, or sharing any of the amazing art I made with the world. I still want to be of service to the kingdom of heaven, so I still need to get over wanting to go hide and feel sorry for myself, and I still need to be a public person, so I still need to do some stand-up so that I can get well known, so that I can tell people, hey, everyone who doesn't listen to anyone that doesn't have money and power and isn't famous, now that I'm a beloved American comedian, guess what? Morgellons is real. We have a health profit system. Oh, and by the way, your Jesus is the devil. In the form of the toxic spirit of shame that says you ought to be ashamed of yourself for being sick instead of we love you and you didn't do anything wrong. Let's try and help you. See, that's Jesus, not the devil. What a bummer that no one knows the difference. Well, I do, and I'm not crazy. I apparently recently came down with a very serious case of sanity that may kill me because I was too crazy to take care of myself for every day of my life since I was 3. I was 3, and the spirit of death was crushing and asphyxiating me, and I locked myself in a closet at a party and said, God, the demonic clown entertaining the party is attacking me. You have to kill me. And he said, no, go back to the party. That's my whole fucking life. 57 almost years of you have to kill me. I can't take it. And what he said was, you can, but it sucks. I still want it to not suck. But God is love. His grace is sufficient for me because it leads to a Rhema knowledge revelation of his love, which is more awesome than anything in this life. But I still want my life to work out. But if it doesn't, I still believe in him. But, oh boy, isn't that a real bummer. And I'm done listening to Christians that tell me it's my own damn fault. I'll just wait for it to be over and work it out myself. I wanted a therapist. I wanted some friends. I wanted someone to work it out with. God sent me a deer. She's a miracle. Oh well. The grace of God isn't nothing. It just shouldn't be the only thing in your life. And in a sane society, it wouldn't be. We wouldn't be the enemies of vulnerability. We would go, sometimes people are sick and poor and they need your help. Sometime when you're really sick, you need a doctor. Larry Charles is on the Bill Maher show saying we should stop waiting for saviors. Sometimes you need someone to save you. Sometimes you need your president to not be a crook. You're going to have a president, you need him to not be a crook. So if that's what you mean by a savior, we do need saviors. Each other. To be Jesus for each other. Otherwise, we can just go fuck ourselves. We get the God and the president and the health care system. In other words, health profit system that we deserve. In other words, a shitty evil one. I'm cool, man. I'm fine. Me and God are fine. It's you that have a problem. I finally realized that it's not the Spirit of the Lord that's trying to break me. It's the spirit of this world, which is everybody and everything other than the Christ in my heart. I would like to stop feeling like everyone is a threat to me. But everyone is the same malignant narcissist. Everyone is the same judgmental, moralistic, compassionless douchebag. So everyone really is the same idiot. And when I try to make it into a joke, the closest I can come is, well, can't we get a different idiot up in this bitch? I would like to talk to a different idiot. Can Central Casting stop sending me the same moron, the same Blissany, the same PC New Age loser, the same Norman Rockwell douchebag to judge me, the same Christy Christian that's actually from the spirit of demonic shame sent to tell you it's your own fault and shove a cookie up your ass? Fuck this bullshit. Me and God are cool. It's the rest of y'all that have a problem. Don't worry, if I can get it together, I'll try and help you out. If only I can stop feeling sorry for myself about my face weeping blood and my eyebrows falling out. Don't worry, y'all. I got you. It's cool. It's cool.